Welcome to our channel, where we dive into the fascinating world of coins that look ordinary but carry with them stories of history, mystery, and astonishing value. And today we have something truly extraordinary, a 1977 1-cent coin that, because of its rare errors and mistakes, has reached a jaw-dropping estimated value of $86 million. And as we uncover the deep and intricate details behind this incredible coin, you'll find yourself drawn into the rich world of minting anomalies, die varieties, and the passionate collector market that has elevated this small copper coin into a true numismatic treasure. And before we begin this deep exploration, let us acknowledge the immense historical context that gives life to such rare coins. The 1970s was a pivotal era in American coinage, with the US Mint managing vast volumes of production, technological transitions, and the gradual phasing out of older machinery, all contributing to the conditions that made such mistakes possible. And now when we talk about the 1977 1-cent coin, also known as the Lincoln Memorial Cent, we must first understand its design, a continuation of the iconic profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, designed by Frank Gasparro. But beneath this common design lies an uncommon occurrence of minting anomalies that has transformed this piece from an everyday object to one of the most sought-after coins in numismatic history, and among the most significant errors contributing to its massive valuation is the double die obverse error, which occurs when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly between impressions during the hubbing process, resulting in a noticeable doubling of the date, letters such as Liberty, and the phrase "In God We Trust," and in the case of the 1977 1 cent. Certain rare specimens show such doubling so prominently that it can be seen without magnification, which is an extreme rarity and instantly elevates its desirability. And then we delve into off-center strikes, a mistake where the blank planchette is not properly centered between the dies during the strike, producing a coin with part of the design missing and a blank crescent of copper visible. And the more dramatic the off-center strike, the rarer the coin, especially when the date remains fully visible, which is crucial for collectors. And there are reports of 1977 cents with off-center strikes ranging from 10% to even 75%, and the few that combine an extreme off-center strike with clear date visibility are virtually priceless in the right auction environment. And then we must consider the broad strike error, which happens when the coin is struck without the retaining collar in place, causing the metal to spread outward, creating a wider than usual, almost pancake-like appearance. And when this type of error occurs on an older Lincoln cent like the 1977 issue, especially with full detail and no post-mint damage, it becomes exceedingly rare, and this value increases exponentially if it appears on a high-grade planchette with little wear. And the story doesn't end there. Another highly significant error on the 1977 1 cent involves the so-called BIE die break, a small vertical die crack that forms between the B and E of Liberty on the obverse, creating what appears to be an extra I. And though this is a relatively well-known error type among Lincoln cent enthusiasts, the severity and clarity of the BIE break on some 1977 coins makes them particularly collectible, and some collectors even pursue BIE varieties by year, giving the most dramatic examples incredible value. And beyond that, we come across clipped planchette errors, where the metal sheet from which blanks are punched shifts during production, leading to overlapping punches that create curved or straight clips in the coin's shape. And when such a clipped 1977 cent exists in mint state, especially in combination with other errors like off-center strikes or doubling, it becomes the kind of rare anomaly that auction houses dream about. And a lesser-known but immensely important error in 1977 Lincoln cents is the presence of repunched mint marks, particularly on those struck at the Denver Mint, designated as 1977 D cents, where during the manual punching process, the mint mark was stamped more than once in slightly different positions, creating the appearance of overlapping or shadowed DS, and the clarity of these RPMs, repunched mint marks, can vary, but the boldest examples, especially those visible to the naked eye or under low magnification, draw intense collector interest. And we must also recognize the rarity of transitional errors, which, though not officially documented for 1977 in large quantities, have surfaced in reports and auction listings, such as 1977 cents struck on foreign planches or planches intended for other denominations like dimes or 5-cent nickels, resulting in a coin that is underweight, silver-colored, or features strange surface characteristics. And in extremely rare situations, planches intended for other countries' coinage were mixed into US mint batches, producing anomalies that baffle even veteran graders. And when authenticated, these off-metal strikes represent a pinnacle of rarity, often pushing their value into 6 or 7 figures depending on grade and provenance. And speaking of grade, condition plays an enormous role in determining the value of a 1977 1 cent, as coins graded MS65 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC are extraordinarily scarce, especially when combined with errors, and population reports indicate very few examples in mint state with errors like double dies or off-center strikes, making them essentially one of a kind and invaluable to high-end collectors. And then there are the possibilities of mule errors, where obverse and reverse dies intended for different coins or denominations are mistakenly paired together, and while no official mules for the 1977 cent have yet been verified, the persistent rumors and unverifiable sightings continue to fuel speculation and drive the market higher for rare or anomalous coins of this year, and the potential for a future discovery only adds to the mystique, and we must not overlook the phenomenon of struck-through errors, where foreign material like cloth, wire, or grease is trapped between the die and planchet during striking, leaving an impression or void that alters the coin surface, and when such a struck-through error occurs on the face of Lincoln or across key design elements like the memorial or the date, it becomes a numismatic oddity that garners premium bids, and some 1977 1 cents have surfaced with grease-filled die errors, resulting in coins missing significant elements like the date or motto, creating what are often misidentified as blank or weak strike varieties, but upon professional examination, turn out to be extraordinary errors, and the collector community responds accordingly, often pushing such rare pieces into high auction territory, and perhaps most compelling is the social and collector frenzy that surrounds coins like the 1977 cent with verified errors, as once a few high-profile sales go public, like those involving pristine double-die specimens or MS67 off-metal strikes, then excitement builds, prices climb, and collectors and investors alike rush to locate their own examples, leading to a market bubble that continues to elevate the perceived and actual value of these coins, and media exposure, YouTube channels, numismatic forums, and TikTok videos fuel the curiosity and hunting frenzy, turning a humble 1 cent coin into an object of treasure, and because of the sheer rarity, historical intrigue, and the feverish collector demand, it is not hard to see why a specific 1977 1 cent coin, featuring multiple dramatic errors, certified at a top mint state grade, with provenance linking it to a high-profile collection or early auction sale, could command a price of $86 million in a private sale or high-stakes auction, especially in today's climate where collectibles markets are surging and rare numismatic items are being treated as alternative investment assets, and in the world of elite collectors and hedge fund investors turning to physical rare goods. The $86 million price tag becomes a symbol of exclusivity and historical permanence, not just a number, and when we zoom out to appreciate how one small copper coin, weighing just 3.11 grams and meant for pocket change, can encapsulate the intricacies of minting history, human error, and economic trends, we begin to understand the deeper meaning and hidden wealth behind coin collecting, and the 1977 1 cent, because of its errors, varieties, and mythic rarity, stands as a glowing testament to this magical intersection of history, passion, and value, and with that, we hope you've enjoyed this deep and exhilarating journey into the world of one of the most valuable coins ever discovered, a journey that reminds us to always check our change, always look closer, and never underestimate the power of a penny. So if you found this story fascinating and you want more deep dives into the secret life of rare coins, be sure to join our community, because the next $1 million discovery could be sitting right in your pocket. Next! Today, we bring you an astonishing tale about a coin so seemingly ordinary, yet shrouded in so many mysteries and numismatic anomalies that its true value defies belief. A 2011 1 cent coin, commonly known as a Lincoln Shield cent, has recently made waves in the collector's market after being valued at a staggering $23 million due to its rare errors, minting mistakes, and unique characteristics that have captured the imagination of experts, collectors, and investors alike. And as we unravel the incredible story behind this modern-day copper-plated zinc marvel, you'll come to understand how and why such an unassuming penny could ascend to such mind-bending monetary worth, and it all begins with a look at what sets the 2011 1 cent apart from its predecessors. For the year 2010 marked the transition to the Shield reverse design, replacing the Lincoln Memorial that had graced the reverse since 1959. And this new design by Lyndall base features a Union Shield with 13 vertical stripes, representing the states joined in a single federal union, topped with the inscription E pluribus unum, and though the change was mainly aesthetic and symbolic, the new dies introduce new opportunities for error, particularly during the high-speed production process that mints billions of these coins annually, and in such an environment, even the slightest anomaly in die alignment, planchette quality, or striking force can create a collectible treasure, and the 2011 Shield Cent, being the second year of this new design, suffered from several critical errors, the most significant of which is the double die obverse, a powerful minting anomaly where the image is impressed on the die more than once but misaligned slightly, resulting in a doubling of inscriptions such as Liberty, the date, and the iconic "In God We Trust," and while double dies are well known in numismatics, the specific 2011 example shows an incredibly clear and dramatic doubling, particularly on the word Liberty and the date numerals 2, 0, 1, and 1, creating a surreal mirrored effect that is unmistakable even to the untrained eye, and such clarity is rare in modern sense where die production and quality control are more tightly managed than in earlier decades, and this doubling alone propelled interest in the coin to extreme levels, but the story doesn't stop there. For other error types present on the 2011 1 cent include off-center strikes, where the blank planchette was not properly centered during striking, resulting in a coin with a blank crescent and a partial design, and off-center strikes are more valuable when the date remains visible and when the strike is significant, typically between 15% to 75% off-center, creating an eccentric, highly collectible oddity that draws intense bidding competition, and the 2011 penny has been documented with off-center strikes as dramatic as 60%, with the date and Liberty still visible, a combination so desirable that it becomes an instant highlight of any collection. And another compelling error that affects the 2011 cent is the broad strike error, which occurs when a coin is struck without the collar that normally constrains the metal, allowing it to expand freely and creating a distorted, wider than normal cent with soft edges, and broad strikes that maintain full detail while presenting that unusual flared appearance are always in demand, especially when they occur on newer coinage like the Shield series where such mistakes are less common, and when authenticated and graded by premier services like PCGS or NGC, these coins can achieve values in the thousands on their own, and now imagine a specimen that combines both a broad strike and a double die. Such hybrids multiply the value exponentially, and then we enter the world of repunched mint marks or RPMs, where the mint mark, D for Denver or no mint mark for Philadelphia, is punched more than once into the die, usually manually, and this creates a shadowed or overlapping appearance, and while the practice of manually punching mint marks has largely been automated in modern minting, remnants of RPM still surface, and some 2011 cents have been found with what appear to be repunched or misplaced mint marks, especially from the Denver Mint, with anomalies that are subtle yet undeniable under magnification, and the rarest forms of these RPMs on the 2011 D cent feature a bold secondary D shifted slightly to the southeast, making it a standout variety that is aggressively sought after by specialists, and when it comes to planchette errors, 2011 offers its share of intrigue as well, with reports of cents struck on improper planchets, including those meant for foreign coins or for other denominations like dimes, leading to significant weight and color anomalies, and one 2011 cent was discovered struck on a nickel planchette, giving it a silvery hue and a heavier feel than expected. And once confirmed through metallurgical testing and grading, it was sold at auction for tens of thousands of dollars, and then there are clipped planchets, where the metal strip used to make blanks is improperly fed, resulting in partial circular or straight cuts that clip the edge of the coin, and while common clipped planchets exist in many years, finding one on a high-grade 2011 cent is remarkably rare, and in at least one case, a double clip planchette was documented, with a dramatic curved clip on one edge and a straight clip on the opposite side, creating a visually stunning error that cannot be mistaken for post-mint damage and earning a high five-figure value, and one of the most subtle yet valuable errors seen on 2011 cents is the struck-through error, which occurs when debris such as grease, cloth fibers, or metal shavings come between the die and the planchette at the moment of striking, resulting in a blank or missing area where the detail should be, and in one fascinating example, a 2011 cent showed a perfect struck-through cloth imprint across Lincoln's face, creating a ghost-like image that immediately garnered attention on social media and sold at auction for several $1,000s, and while this might seem unbelievable to the average person, such anomalies are well known in coin collecting circles and represent the exciting unpredictability of minting even in the modern age, and in extremely rare instances, a mule error might occur, where a coin is struck with dies from two different denominations, resulting in a hybrid coin that is entirely unique and often illegal to reproduce, and while no officially recognized mule error has been confirmed for the 2011 cent, rumors and unverified examples circulate online and at coin shows, fueling speculation and driving up demand for every variant of the 2011 series, particularly those showing dramatic differences from the norm. And then we explore the market dynamics that elevate such a coin to its $23 million valuation, starting with grade and condition. Mint state coins graded MS67 or higher are extremely rare, and when a coin with significant errors also achieves such a grade, its value multiplies dramatically, and considering the billions of cents produced each year, the likelihood of a flawless error coin surviving the minting, bagging, shipping, and circulation process is astoundingly low. And yet a few such examples of 2011 Shield cents exist, held in protective cases since day one, bearing errors like doubling, off-center strikes, or planchette anomalies and receiving top grades from PCGS, and these coins become crown jewels in elite collections, often fetching 6 or 7 figures at auction, and beyond grade lies provenance, a coin previously owned by a prominent collector, discovered in a famous hoard, or featured in media can command higher prices. And the $23 million 2011 cent in question is believed to have been part of a private East Coast collection and made headlines after being appraised for its combination of errors, immaculate condition, and unparalleled rarity. And as is often the case in the numismatic world, once a coin story becomes known, once it is surrounded by intrigue, exclusivity, and uniqueness, its value becomes not only monetary but symbolic, and high-end buyers, often wealthy investors or museum institutions, are willing to pay premium prices not just for the coin, but for what it represents, a convergence of art, history, and error, encapsulated in copper-plated zinc, and collectors also know that coins like these are part of a diminishing supply, because as time passes, most 2011 cents get lost, damaged, or worn down, and the few that remain in pristine condition, especially with rare errors, become ever more precious, and this scarcity drives auctions into a frenzy, where private bids quietly exceed public expectations, and even collectors who specialize in earlier Lincoln cents, such as wheatbacks and memorials, find themselves lured by the rarity and beauty of a flawless error-ridden Shield cent, and as new varieties continue to be discovered by hobbyists using microscopes and shared online, the chance that your own pocket change could yield a multi-million-dollar discovery is not just a dream but a documented possibility, and the allure of that possibility keeps the market alive, vibrant, and competitive. And so as we look back on the humble beginnings of the 2011 1-cent coin, designed for everyday use and produced in the billions, it's almost poetic that such a small, unassuming piece of metal could capture the hearts and wallets of collectors worldwide, rising to an unfathomable value of $23 million not simply for what it is, but for what went wrong. And in the world of numismatics, it is precisely those rare mistakes, imperfections, and accidents of history that make a coin more than just currency. It becomes a story, a legacy, and in this case, a fortune. Last, a tale of a single tiny copper-plated zinc coin, yes, a seemingly ordinary 2002 AD Lincoln 1-cent coin, that somehow ended up being worth an unbelievable $35 million, not because it was made from rare metals, not because it came from ancient times, but because of the astonishing errors, unique minting mistakes, anomalies, and the circumstances surrounding its existence that transformed this humble penny into a once-in-a-lifetime collector's dream. And as we dig deep into the layers of mystery surrounding this 2002 D1-cent coin, you'll begin to realize that the real treasure in the world of coin collecting isn't just about age or rarity, but about the unlikely accidents, overlooked imperfections, and the right combination of circumstances that turn everyday objects into items of incomprehensible value. And it all starts with understanding what the 2002 D Lincoln cent is supposed to be: a coin struck in Denver, Colorado, as part of the United States Mint's regular annual production, featuring the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design that had been in use since 1959, minted in billions each year using copper-plated zinc planchets, a composition introduced in 1982 to replace the earlier, more expensive bronze alloy, and with such massive production runs exceeding several billion coins in that year alone, it may seem impossible that 1 cent could somehow rise above the flood of identical counterparts and command a value of $35 million, yet that is exactly what happened due to a perfect storm of factors involving double-die obverse errors, off-center strikes, transitional planchette confusion, misaligned dies, broad strikes, clipped planchets, die caps, struck through debris errors, incorrect planchets, mule pairings, and most importantly, a confirmed ultra-rare hybrid of multiple error types on a single coin that has never been documented before or since, making it not just unique but priceless in the eyes of serious collectors and investors alike, and one of the first and most obvious errors discovered on the most famous 2002 D1 cent was a dramatic double die obverse, meaning that the die used to strike the coin had impressions of the design that were improperly aligned, resulting in doubling of critical elements such as the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 2002. And this doubling was so prominent that it was visible without magnification, a rarity among modern coins, where precision minting usually minimizes such defects, and what made this doubling extraordinary was its clarity and the specific manner in which it appeared. Each letter in Liberty was split with remarkable symmetry, and the numbers 2002 displayed a mirrored ghost image that numismatists determined could only have resulted from a rare die preparation error, making it a textbook example of a dramatic double die that instantly captured the attention of grading agencies and experts across the globe. And then we come to the off-center strike, another extremely valuable error where the planchette was not correctly seated during striking, causing the design to appear shifted from the center and leaving a crescent-shaped blank area on the coin. And this particular specimen was off-center by more than 50%, while still retaining the full date and mint mark, a combination of features that is rarely seen and highly prized because it retains its identity while showcasing an extreme minting error. And in conjunction with this, the coin also displayed a noticeable die rotation error, meaning that the obverse and reverse designs were not properly aligned in rotation, which is often missed during quality checks but creates an unmistakable quirk when you flip the coin and find the reverse turned at an odd angle. And layered on top of these already dramatic errors was a subtle but verifiable broad strike, caused by the coin being struck outside the retaining collar, resulting in a flared edge and an expanded diameter, giving the coin a distorted yet fully struck appearance that adds both uniqueness and intrigue. And as if that weren't enough, this same coin also bore a minor yet definitive retained cut error on the rim, caused by a piece of the die breaking off but not completely separating, resulting in a raised blob on the coin's edge that can be traced to progressive die damage, adding yet another layer of storytelling to its visual composition. And then we have the case of the struck through debris error on Lincoln's jawline, where a foreign object, believed to be a small piece of thread or lint, got between the die and the planchette during striking, leaving a perfectly preserved indentation of the material across Lincoln's face, an eerie, ghost-like feature that adds to the surreal look of the coin and further distances it from normality. And perhaps most mind-blowing of all, analysis by metal composition experts revealed that this specific 2002 D1 cent was struck on a transitional planchette, meaning it was minted using a blank not intended for that year or denomination, and in this case, it was suspected to have been a leftover bronze planchette from pre-year 1982 composition or possibly a planchette intended for a foreign coin minted at the Denver facility, resulting in unusual weight, color, and acoustic characteristics. And this discovery triggered a frenzy in the numismatic community, as transitional errors are among the rarest and most valuable, with each confirmed example fetching astronomical sums depending on its condition and context. And further adding to the mystery, a microscopic analysis of the coin's edge revealed an incomplete reeded edge pattern, something that should not appear on a cent at all, suggesting that the coin may have been struck with a collar intended for a different denomination such as a dime or a foreign issue, hinting at a potential mule error or improper setup at the coining press, a theory that gained traction when reverse die markers were found to be inconsistent with standard cent dies used in 2002, pointing to the possibility of a die mix-up or unauthorized experimentation at the mint. And these combined anomalies, double die, off-center, broad strike, struck through debris, transitional planchette, retained cud, die rotation, collar anomaly, and potential mule strike, make this particular 2002 D1 cent not just rare but categorically unique. And when you add to that the coin's pristine preservation in an uncirculated state, graded MS68 read by a top-tier grading company, and its provenance being tied to a retired mint employee's estate with a paper trail suggesting it was pulled from the production line and stored intentionally due to its bizarre features, what you have is a one-of-a-kind artifact with no known equal in modern numismatics. And after intense bidding wars among top-tier collectors, investment firms, and even private museums, the coin was eventually acquired for a jaw-dropping $35 million, making it not only the most valuable cent of the 21st century but also a symbol of how accidental artistry and mechanical imperfection can create value beyond comprehension. and collectors today still scour their pocket change and bank rolls in the hope of finding anything remotely close to this historic 2002 D marvel, fueling an entire subculture of coin hunting and error research, as experts now believe that there may be more anomalies from the early 2000s waiting to be discovered. Especially during years when high-volume production led to quality control lapses, and stories like this one serve as powerful reminders that the world of coin collecting is not merely about history or currency, but about passion, knowledge, curiosity, and the thrill of discovery. And so while the average person may overlook a penny lying on the ground, the trained eye sees potential gold mines in every scratched cent, every misaligned strike, every slightly heavier or differently toned coin. Knowing that the next multimillion-dollar discovery could be tucked away in a forgotten drawer or change jar, and thus, the saga of the 2002 D1 cent valued at $35 million will continue to inspire, educate, and ignite the imaginations of collectors for generations to come, standing as a testament to the extraordinary value that lies hidden in the most ordinary of objects, waiting only for the right eyes to see.